This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through your 2019 Zinger Model 292RE. So I'm on the door side of the trailer, walking towards the rear. Okay. You have regular scissor type stabilizers that take a 3/4 inch crank or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill, whichever you prefer. You've got power awning with LED strip. Alright, actually two of them. One on the slide out, one on the trailer itself. Your steps fold into the trailer. They're very stable, but if you're on uneven terrain, you can adjust the length of the legs by using this pin right here. You just pull it out, slide them up and down so you get the right length and put the pin back in. Of course, there's one on each side. You got power and antenna out right here for if you want to put a TV outside. Alright, this is your hitch. It's a weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up your trailer. You got two LP tanks, a power tongue jack. Now you can, if this power tongue jack fails, you can actually crank it manually by removing this cap. And there's a crank inside the trailer. Let's see if we can find it here. That you can crank that with manually to get yourself out of trouble. Let's see. Of course, it's all the way to the other side. Let's see. Here it is right here. So that's the crank for that. And then, of course, the larger crank is for your stabilizers. Got a deep cycle marine battery. This hookup here is for a solar battery panel to charge your battery. So if you want to get a solar panel battery charger, you can plug it in right there. That brand is Furion. Alrighty, so let's see here. That reduces your plug to a 15 amp plug, so you can plug it in at home. You got a dump hose, of course. Now, the most common way to get water to the trailer is the city water hookup. If you go to a campground and they don't have plumbing on the campsite, you can use this fill here to fill your fresh water tank. So you got an onboard fresh water tank that you can fill in case you're going someplace that doesn't have plumbing. You can pre-fill the tank and use the onboard pump to pump the water. Otherwise, you're going to use the city water connection, which is right here. So you just hook your hose on there and it's ready to go. 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to use. This, of course, is a shower, hot and cold water. Close it here. This is your black tank flush for when you dump the tank. Let me see what we got here. So here are your dump valves here. Your black tank here. Your gray tank valve there. Black tank is toilet water and waste. The gray tank is sink and shower water. So after you put your hose on here and put it in the dump station, you're going to pull the valve and dump the black tank first. Then you dump the gray tank, just because the gray water is cleaner than the black water. But then if you leave your black tank valve open, you can hook your hose at the dump station right onto here. Turn it on, and it'll spray the inside of your black tank and clean it out. So it's a black tank flush, which is a good thing. Keeps your sensors clean, just generally cleans out the tank. Okay. This is where your power cord is. It comes out as 30 feet long and 30 amp. Alright. Okay, this housing up here on the back wall tells us it's pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you want to get a backup camera, it takes a Furion camera that fits in that housing, so keep that in mind. Also, while we're looking up, you have to go up every 90 days, 3 times a season, and inspect your roof for cracking or separation. Any place you see sealant, you want to check for cracking and separation. Also look for roof damage, anything like that, from tree branches or road debris, that sort of thing. But mainly you're looking at the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation, and sometime when you go up there, some year you're going to see some, so you have it taken care of immediately. All trailers have to be inspected regularly. Okay, so let's go inside. Okay, here we go. First thing in here is your control panel. We'll get some lights on. Okay, so your water pump, I told you can carry onboard water, is right here. You'll also use that water pump for winterizing the trailer, something you have to educate yourself about if you're going to do it yourself. To light your water heater on gas, here, electric here. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn on an energy source. You never want to heat the tank up That's called dry firing. If you don't have water in it, it'll damage it. It's not a warranty issue. It's considered a user error. So always make sure there's water in the tank. You have your slide outs here, 1 and 2. You have both your awnings here. Never leave the awnings out unattended. If you're not at the campsite, roll them in because they can get damaged by the wind very quickly. Alright, and this is where you check your levels. Your battery's charged, although you want to check it when you're not plugged in. Freshwater has 2/3, but we're still water testing it. Black is empty, gray is empty, gray 2 is empty. And auxiliary, let me see if I don't think we use auxiliary on this one. We'll have to check and make sure, but because this is a standard panel, but I think you have 2 gray tanks and one black in here, so we'll go with that. Okay. Alright, so let's just go in the bathroom. Alright, so the toilet, everything else in the bathroom works like a normal bathroom, except the toilet is a little different. You have to have water and chemical in the black tank to start using it. So, straight down there is your black tank. Now if we were hooked up to water, water will come squirting out of there and swirl around the bowl, obviously. So what you do is when you get to the campsite, you hook up your power and your water, you come inside, you'll dump your chemical right in the bowl. Whichever brands you use, you'll put 1 dose in there. Then you'll step on the pedal. Water will come swirling around and flush the chemical into the toilet, the black tank, which is directly below, like I said. And you're going to put about a gallon or so of water in that tank. There's no way to tell exactly what a gallon is. It doesn't have to be exact. The bottom line is you got to have some water and chemical in the tank before you start using it. That's important, or else the smell and just use your imagination. It's a bad thing. You'll only do it once if you do it. So just make sure you always put water and chemical in the black tank when you're starting off with a dry black tank. Okay, your bedroom is pretty self-explanatory. You've got you could hang a TV right there. It's got hookups there, and then a backing plate for a mounting bracket, of course. Alright, this is your thermostat. It's very simple, it's an analog. Generally you put the fan on auto like it is. Heat, fan, and cool. Fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor, it just circulates air. So generally you're just going to be either heat or cool. Alright, but you can run the fan if you want to circulate air. Alright, so we come inside here. Let me back up and see if I missed anything, which I did. This is the carbon dioxide LP gas detector right here. If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the tanks off at the front and figure out what's going on. It should always be green. If it's not, then you get it tested or you get it serviced, okay? It's an important thing. This device here is your power converter. So what this does, it converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So you can see, let me get down here so I can see it. So you see there's regular household type circuit breakers here and they're labeled. That's 110 AC. It converts the power to 12 volt DC right here. So you see you have 12 volt fuses right here and they're labeled. So if any of the fuses on the 12 volt side were to blow, they'll actually light up with an LED, and you can actually see them glowing through this plastic here, this tin of plastics, so you would know. Also, when you're plugged into shore power, this is a battery charger. It'll always keep your battery charged up front. So that's important, of course. Okay. So, you've got a range hood with a light. The microwave looks like any other microwave. Keep in mind that you can't run the fireplace and the microwave at the same time, so you have to choose one or the other when you're using them. Okay, it's a 30 amp system and it won't handle both those the power demands of both at the same time. Okay, so to light your stovetop, you go to light. I don't think it's on because I can't hear it, so you'll just spark it this way. I mean, the gas is not on. You spark it this way, I guess it is. And it lights, alright. Shut it off like that. Each burner obviously has a knob. The oven's a little bit different. You have a pilot light. You have to use a grill lighter to light it. So all the way back there is a pilot light, right? So what you do is you put this to pilot, your oven knob, and you depress it. Keep it depressed. Then you take a grill lighter with a long neck and you light the pilot light back there. Once it lights, you're still holding this in. It's still depressed for another 10 seconds after it lights. Then you go to operating temperature and it cycles as an oven does. When you go to off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, so this next is a refrigerator. It's a gas absorption refrigerator, so it works on 110 AC or LP gas. So you have on and off here. That's on, right? Then you go to auto. Auto means electricity. The reason they call it auto is because it'll automatically seek out electricity. If it can't find it, it'll automatically switch over to gas, right? So let's say that you're camping and you leave early in the morning with your family and you go exploring for the day. The campground has a power failure. What will happen is it'll automatically switch from gas or from electric over to LP gas, so you don't spoil your food. So that's generally the position you want this in. You can run it dedicated on gas by going like that when you're pulling it down the road, but when in use, you go with auto. The only other thing to know about this is the thermistor, which is how you set the temperature. This device right here, you see the wire coming up to this kind of clip here. There's a cylinder on the end of the wire called a thermistor. You can slide it up or down by going like this. Basically, you slide it up till the wire is taut. It's taut like that. That's where you want it. The higher you go with it, the cooler it gets, the lower, as this decal shows us, the warmer it gets. So you want it up all the way, almost always. I mean, if it starts to frost up because it's cold outside, you might want to back it down a little bit. But generally speaking, you're going to keep it up all the way. Okay? So you have two remotes here. You have your remote for your sound bar and the remote for your fireplace. Okay, so the fireplace, let's see what we got selected here. We'll have to come over here and we select the fireplace because we're going to use that. I think we're plugged in. I'm not even sure if we are or not. Yes, we are. So there you have it. So you can set the temperature. You can see high. I don't know if you can see that right there. Let me get closer. See, it's flashing high. That's the fan speed. Off. Low, back to high. So that's the fan speed. So obviously it's the space heater, so it'll really put out the heat when you have it on high. So I'm going to just shut it off right now because it's hot. Okay, so now you can set the flame, the intensity of the flame, visually I mean, right? Temperature up and down. It goes in 5-degree increments, as you can see. Hopefully you can see 5-degree increments up and down. So it does a lot. It's a good heater. You don't, on the days where you just want to take the chill out of the air at night, or out of the trailer, I mean, at night or in the morning, you don't have to really use your furnace and use up your LP. You can just use this because it works on electricity. The sound bar, basically, first of all, you can mount your TV at this mounting bracket. But second of all, your sound bar, you can stream off this USB here. It's got 2 speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside of the trailer. You can hook up with Bluetooth from your phone or tablet and stream that way. So there's a lot you can do with it. AM, FM radio, so it has all those features. Your couch here is a jackknife, so it jackknifes flat into a bed. Of course, you have theater seating. You can take the poles out of your table, drop it down on these, the top down on these cleats, and fill in the space with the cushions, and you got another bed there. So you have a lot of options that way. Smoke detector, of course. All the lights on this one, some are switched, master switch wise, like that. Other ones you have to use manually, of course. The only other thing up here is how the emergency window operates. Basically, all you do is you take this and you push it through, all the way through, so it sort of flaps freely. Then you grab a hold of this red tab, pull the screen out, and out you go. So in an emergency, you can always get out if you have to. Okay. One last thing, you always want to run your fan, your vent fan here in the bathroom when you're using the shower, because these things are built super tight now, so you want to be able to vent the humidity out so you don't get a mold issue or mildew. Okay. All right, so I think that covers it. So thanks for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And as I stated, remember to always inspect your roof every 3 months. If you can't go up there yourself, send someone up there and just look at all the sealant and give it a good look over, make sure it's good and tight. You don't ever want to get water inside this trailer. This doesn't just apply to this trailer, it's every trailer ever built. So if you own a trailer, you have to inspect it. That's very important. Any place you see sealant or caulk from the factory, you inspect on the roof and even on the sides. Pay special attention to the roof, of course. Okay? The other thing is always remember to put water in your water heater before lighting it or putting power to it. And always bypass your water heater before you pump antifreeze in when you're winterizing. Thank you very much.